how do I handle catching my wife having an affair, and what's the next step? And when I caught them kissing for about, 5 minutes, then I knew something was up, that this isn't right.
That's when you knew something was up, homie. Heyo, what's up? This is John, the Dr. John Delony Show, taking your calls about your relationships, your mental and emotional health, counseling, coaching, whatever you got going on in your life. My promise is I'll sit here and we will figure out what's the next right move. Give me a buzz at 1-844-693-3291. You can leave a message and we'll call you back and talk to you about having you on the show, or you can go to johndelony.com/ask and you can type in your question in the little info box and it goes into Kelly's cauldron of wizardry and magic. Cauldron, I guess, was kind of witch adjacent, huh?
I don't think so.
But you do have a cauldron.
Maybe. Definitely a voodoo doll or two.
Yes. I was like, oh, sweet. You have you made like a figurine of me. And she like turned it around. It had like needles in its neck. So anyway, if you want to be on that show, give us a call or reach out. Oh, geez. We are crushing this thing. I always wonder, like, what was it like to be on the Titanic? And I feel like every time I sit in here, I feel like that.
No, this show's doing a whole lot better than the Titanic was doing.
For now. But iceberg, dead ahead. Like, it just keeps...
Our listeners and our viewers are keeping this show moving right along because they're amazing.
Despite my best efforts to wreck it.
Exactly.
Let's go out to San Bernardino, California, and talk to Nathaniel. What's up, Nathaniel?
Hi, John.
How's it going, man?
Good. Just another day.
Hey, exactly. What's up, brother?
Well, I had a question that is how do I handle catching my wife having an affair, and what's the next step?
Dude, walk me through that one, man. When you say catch, what do you mean?
So it happened last year in September. I was at work and had these bad feelings, and I was like, what the heck's going on? Texted my wife, no response. Looked up my location and saw that she was at a hotel, but it was during the fires, and she was taking one of her friends home from a concert, so I thought they were evacuated to a hotel, so I let it be, but no
Hold on,
response.
would your wife have called you if she was at a concert and she was evacuated to a hotel for her safety?
No. For her friend.
I know, but would she otherwise have let you know that that's happening?
Yeah,
okay.
If that would have happened.
Yeah, okay. All right, so you see her at a hotel and you quickly come up with kind of a stretch of a story just to protect yourself, right?
Yeah, I did. In my head, I thought, okay, she's there, and I just kept track of the time. And I was like, wait a minute, it's already been 2 hours. She's been at that location. And when I came home to find out my kids were alone with the uncle, I was like, wait a minute, that's not like her. So then I took it upon myself to wait for the kids to sleep. And I drove over to the hotel. I didn't know what room she was in. I just waited. I saw the car. And then, 5 minutes later, she starts walking out, and I see a guy with her, and I'm like, okay, that's not the friend she was with. It's supposed to be a girl. And when I caught them kissing for about, 5 minutes, then I knew something was up, that this isn't right.
That's when you knew something was up, homie. Denial is not just a river in Egypt, dude. It's also... my man. Hey, how did you let her kiss another guy for 5 minutes right in front of you?
Well, I was, when I was parked, I was on the main street, and I was trying to turn to see if it was her. And then when I saw that she got at the car, and I wanted to make sure that this was happening, my gut feeling, and when I saw it, I froze.
That's fair. Hey, can I applaud you for just being honest about that?
Yeah.
Good on you. I can imagine that is just so surreal.
Yeah, pretty much was.
Your first instinct is different than mine, and mine probably would have ended me up in jail. So good on you for freezing, right? So what's the last few months been? You said this is September. We're talking in February. Tell me what the last few months have been like.
Well, after that night, trying to confront her and talk to her and asking her to give me time and stuff to like work things out because we have kids, and having her explain what happened that night for those 2 hours, it was just like I almost wanted to throw up. I literally drove over to the hotel to confront the guy, and while I was driving, I was thinking of all these scenarios, and then one was why? Why would I even try to hurt him if I'm going to be in jail? And it's like, yeah, no.
It's very wise.
So when I found out it was one of my old friends from elementary school, that's what hurt me the most. And
so let's take the hurt off of him.
Take the hurt off of him.
Let's don't give that some dude from your elementary school access to your soul. Let's just hold it what it is. Your wife cheated on you. She broke your heart. She blew your family up.
Pretty much, yeah.
Does she still want to be married to you?
She does. She's been like little by little trying to make it better, but then the last couple months it's just been like back to normal again with the whole. She's back on her phone again.
Okay, let me be super clear with you, Nathaniel. She does not want to be married to you. She wants you to take care of the kids. She wants you to provide money, but she does not want to be married to you.
Okay.
You have to absorb that.
Yeah.
Is that fair?
Yeah, that's fair.
Okay. So what's your next move?
Pretty much.
Here's what it feels like. It feels like you are an expert in maneuvering, almost like I'm imagining the slow motion scene in The Matrix when the bullets were coming.
Mm-hmm.
The bullets are reality, and you're Keanu Reeves. You're really adept at kind of diving away from painful realities and conversations because those painful realities and conversations force you to have to act, make a call.
Yeah.
And you have a pretty comfortable life, and things are fine, things are good, and now your wife blew them up.
Yeah. Pretty much. Yeah, I can't even listen to some certain music without it triggering memories of going back to that hotel.
I know, but listen, we're not going to be run around. We're not going to live our lives afraid of triggers. Triggers are just simply your body getting your attention, saying, hey, you may not be safe now. And so you're going to head right into those triggers. And sometimes you have to get a therapist to go with you or a couple of close buddies to hold you accountable. But I'm not going to live my life that my body shuts down if a song comes on the radio. I'm going to deal with that.
Okay.
I'm not going to live my life every time my wife flips over her phone. If I've been very clear, hey, if you want to be married, we've got to rebuild trust. And trust looks like you not flipping your phone over every time I walk in. Trust looks like I want to see your text messages. Trust looks like I want to link our phones together so your text messages go to the iPad that I can see them.
True.
And if she says no, then she's telling you, I don't want to be married to you anymore. I'm not interested in rebuilding trust in a way that makes you feel safe. And because I blew up our marriage. I lacked integrity.
True.
Right? But you can only control you. And so you have to be very specific about what you need.
Okay.
And I think you are like, you got to be specific. And I think if you're not specific, then there's not a chance that she doesn't meet those things, and then she's got to go.
Yeah.
And I think it allows you this kind of pseudo reality where it's all kind of back to normal and it's kind of fine. And she's flipping her phone over, but it's cool, like whatever, and blah, blah. It's not, man. I can hear it on you.
Yeah, it's not.
It's not. So call it what it is.
True.
Do you still want to be married to her?
Part of me, yes, and a part of me still has that trust issue.
You should have all of you should have a trust issue. And by the way, you can have a trust issue and still want to be married to her. The question that's instructive here is, does she want to be married to you? Have you asked her that?
I haven't got a chance to ask her that.
No, bull crap on a stick with a pony and a frog, like waving a flag. You've chosen not to.
Yeah.
What do you mean you don't have time? You create time for something this important. You stop the presses. You leave work. You get childcare. You figure it out. This is too important. Here, I'm going to give you the playbook for the next move, okay? You don't have to do this. You're a grown man. You can do whatever you want to. If I'm in your seat, here's what I do. I let her know. You and I are talking, just for the listener, we're talking on a Tuesday.
Mm-hmm.
I would let her know tomorrow night, Wednesday night at 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock, I've gotten childcare for the kids. We're going out to dinner to a private place. And we're going to have some hard conversations. There's going to be no screaming, no yelling, no fighting, no getting up and running away. We're going to sit down and have some hard conversations.
Okay.
You pick the restaurant where you can go into the back and talk quietly or get a table on the side or whatever. And then when y'all sit down, you say, hey, we're getting back into the old behaviors. I was not clear last time and I'm sorry. Number one, do you still want to be married to me? Neither of us wanted to get divorced. I'm sure you didn't want to cheat on me when we got married, but here we are. Do you still want to be married? If you do, here's what must be true. And then you have to have the courage to write down what must be true and communicate that very clearly, clear as kind, very clearly, and give her a chance to scratch and claw her way back to your heart. Otherwise, you're being cruel. She doesn't know up from down. And you're kind of just wishy-washy in the whole thing. You're from like, I don't know. It's time to be clear. And here's the bigger thing. Your kids are absorbing this, brother, in your house. They're absorbing their dad being like, well, I just don't have time. We haven't had time to sit down. And you have to make time. It's too important. It's the most important thing in your world right now is your marriage. They're watching your wife flip over the phone every time they're learning, like that little sneaky, eyes on a swivel. Everybody's looking around always and, make sure this and deleting this. And they're seeing that. They're absorbing that. Stop the madness. Decide I'm not letting this go generational. And that also means that she might look at you and say, yeah, I'm done. I'm out. And then, brother, call me back because I'll sit with you, man. Or you might look at her and say, I'm not going to be able to get the trust back, man. You cheated on me with a friend. You lied to me. You pawned our kids off with an uncle. You didn't even let me know. I thought you were hiding from fires. I thought your life was in jeopardy and you're off sleeping with an old friend of mine. I just can't. I can't come back. And you get to choose that. Or you can choose just to keep going on about your day, pretend everything's fine until it's not again. I just want to tell you, this will catch up eventually, man. Choose your heart. Kind of live halfway underwater, slowly gasping for air, or decide I'm going to stand up on my own 2 feet and breathe. And here's what must be true moving forward. It's your move, my man. She did you wrong and broke your heart. She blew up your house. And now you've got a broom and you got to start the cleanup process. Hopefully she joins you. We'll be right back. I want to tell you about Cozy Earth, the makers of incredible sheets, bedding, and bath linens. It's almost time. The sun will come out tomorrow so soon. Spring is almost here, and Cozy Earth has a spring into comfort sale going on right now. It's a great time to buy their bamboo sheet sets and their bath sheets. I love their sheets, and their towels are giant and soft, and they don't get all thin and crusty after going through the laundry. They are the best. Their sheet sets are soft and breathable, and they keep me and my family cool and comfortable all night long. And like I said, you'll feel the quality of their bath sheets right away. They're so huge, they don't even call them towels. They call them bath sheets, and they're actually more like bath comforters. It doesn't matter what they're called, they're just amazing. I also got a huge Cozy Earth weighted blanket that my whole family piles under. It is bye-bye for my anxiety. Cozy Earth is my go-to and your go-to for building a sanctuary in your home so you can feel safe, relaxed, and ready to take on whatever comes next. And remember, Cozy Earth Spring into Comfort sale is happening right now with exclusive savings for you watching or listening to this show. 40% off everything. That's 40% off. Visit cozyearth.com/Delony and use code Delony right now. That's cozy, C-O-Z-Y, cozyearth.com/Delony for 40% off. Go. All right, here's the deal. The modern world exposes us to things that were unheard of until just a few decades ago. And I don't mean the lame cat videos and endless streams of AI influencers. I'm talking about screens in our homes and offices, fluorescent lights, EMFs, these things that can affect our mood, our sleep, our anxiety, and more. And that's why I'm so excited to partner with Bond Charge, a world leader in red light therapy and EMF blocking gear. I use Bond Charge products all of the time, literally every single day, and I love them. And here's why you'll love them too. Studies show red light therapy can help boost your mood, reduce stress, and help with sleep. It can help you recover from aches and pains. I used it on my foot this morning. Transform your skin and even help with cellulite and stretch marks. My red light therapy panels, the infrared sauna blanket, the EMF mat, and more have become a cornerstone of my health and wellness routine. Like I said, I use them every day. And check out Bond Charge's other amazing products like blue light glasses, EMF protection products, infrared sauna blankets, and 100% blackout sleep masks. Go to bondcharge.com/Delony and use coupon code Delony to save 15% site-wide. That's BONCHARGE.com/Delony and use coupon code Delony to save 15%. All right, let's go out to Columbus, Ohio and talk to Nicole. Hey, Nicole, what's up?
Hi, Dr. John. I can't believe I'm talking to you.
I can't believe I'm talking to you. This is amazing. What's up?
Well, I'll go ahead and get started with my question, and then I'll give you a little bit of background information.
Okay, let it rip.
All right. Am I wrong to feel upset about unequal treatment at work? And should I confront my management, quit, or let it go?
Ooh, this is a good one.
And a little side note on this one is I work for my husband's family.
Awesome. How's your marriage?
So it's great, actually. We've been it's honestly probably strengthened it, if anything.
So before you even ask, what is he telling you to do?
He is kind of in the same boat I am. Not really sure. I'm kind of thinking, we're kind of both thinking maybe we should talk to them about it, but also we're not really sure if it's our place. So I'll kind of give you some background information and you can see what you think.
All right, let it rip.
So I have worked for this company since 2020, right after I had my first baby. And then since then, I'm still working for the company. And since then, I have had two more babies, one in 2022 and one in 2023.
Good Lord, your house is a boring place, isn't it?
Yes. Oh, it's crazy.
That's
they're
3
all
kids
boys,
under
to make
5?
It better. Yes, sir, I do. And they're all boys.
Wow.
Yep.
That's why we drink. Congratulations. Way to go, Nicole. All right,
Thank you. So recently, my sister-in-law, who also works at the company, she had a baby. And I found out as she came back to work, she was paid her full wages and during her time off. And she has also been allowed to work from home. Now, I was not paid anything during my maternity leave either time. The second time in particular is the one I guess I'm a little more focused on because I left that into that maternity leave. I was working full time at the time. And when I went to go back to work, I had also asked to work from home and I was told that I couldn't. So finding this out, my feelings have been a little hurt and I just felt like maybe I'm not as appreciated in the office as I once thought I was. I've always worked really, really hard for them. And they've said that they've always told me I'm a great worker. And so I've just been a little confused about how to go forward with this information.
Why didn't your husband go storming into his mom and dad's house and say, what's going on here?
I mean, we both are kind of not
No.
I guess.
I don't care about that. Like, you get to say, like, I'm kind of not like that until somebody... And it makes it worse because it's my sister, right?
Yeah, it's his sister, yeah.
Right, so these are both your grandkids. And I'll get into the family business dynamics here in a second. But, like, I'm interested in Like I'm just putting myself in this position. If my wife had a kid and my dad was her boss and my sister's boss, and one of his a woman's pregnant with one of his grandkids, and he's like, "Yeah, your butt's gonna be back here on work on Monday."
Yeah.
And then another woman's pregnant with another one of his grandkids, and he's like, "Nah, you take your time. Work from home. I'm just gonna pay you. The money's just gonna show up."
Yeah.
What are you talking about? I'll be in there for that next morning. Where's your
Yeah.
husband on this? I don't care. You don't get to say, like, "Oh, it's just not like that." I don't give a crap. You're not doing that.
Yeah, it's pretty upsetting for both of us.
No, it should be upsetting for you.
It is upsetting for me. I was very upset to find out about it. I was pretty furious that day, and I thought about just storming out, and then I was like, I'm going to take some time, go home and talk. And,
I would have.
and
I'm
then
an
I thought
impulsive
to write
baby
into your
sometimes,
show.
though, but I would have quit.
Well, I'm trying not to be an impulsive baby.
I
about
know
it.
you're
So I've
mature.
tried
I
to-
struggle with that. But
I've tried to take my time and just
I get.
think about.
Is your husband work there too?
So he actually recently, about 6 months ago, became a police officer. So he doesn't work there anymore, but he
Okay.
was up until that point.
All right. Here's the truth about family business.
Okay.
Sometimes the kids get treated differently.
Yeah.
End of story.
Yes.
I would have assumed that you're one of the kids.
Right.
Your
yeah.
in-laws have confirmed you are not.
Yeah.
And so I want you to imagine, you may have heard me talk about this. I want you to imagine you have like a small wooden box on your kitchen table.
Okay.
And in that box, I want you to imagine, and the number should be 4, 5, or 6 people who get to speak into your life in that box,
Mm-hmm.
who have permission to hurt your feelings, have permission to challenge your values, have permission to really come at you like, hey, are you sure this is right for your kid? That kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And I want you to consciously take them out of that box.
Okay.
That doesn't mean you don't love them. That doesn't mean you don't highly respect them. That doesn't mean you don't do everything you can to get to Christmas or whatever. That means as you had a picture of what this loving, connected relationship was going to look like with these in-laws.
Mm-hmm.
You had a picture of what kind of grandparents they were going to be with your with your kids and their grandkids and your relationship with them and whatever. And there's also this work relationship. I don't want to jeopardize the family side of this because I have a integrity question when it comes to business management.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to take them out. And if you're financially able to, yeah, I'd put in my 2 weeks. If you're not, I would keep working until you find an opportunity that's going to be great for you.
Okay.
And with 3 kids under 5, I am going to, it's going to be a tough road to hoe, right?
Right.
It's going to be tough. Do they pay you in a way that's cost prohibitive for you to move?
No, honestly, I don't make a ton. I work pretty part-time hours.
Okay.
Since having my third, especially, just because I don't have a ton of childcare options, and it's not a like super high-paying job, so it wouldn't really cover the cost of childcare anyways.
Gotcha. So let me tell you,
that's kinda,
you're right to have your feelings hurt. I have my feelings hurt
Okay.
for you.
Okay.
I don't like it.
Yeah.
It just feels yucky. I'm pissed
Yes,
off
it
at your
does.
husband.
Oh. Yeah.
I am. And
I am a little sometimes
okay,
too. And
that's what I was digging for. You owe it to him and your marriage to not keep secrets.
yeah.
Because we often think about protect and provide, right? We're going to protect and provide. And he's a cop, for God's sake. That's my gang, right?
Yes.
And he knows how to handle a gun. He knows how to handle himself. He's got a taser on his, he knows how to do that, but he doesn't know how to call his mom and say, Mom, what the crap?
Yeah.
And sometimes protect is about muscles and bullets. Fine. Most of the
Right.
time in the modern world, protect is about you will treat my wife with dignity and respect and honor. And this is dishonoring.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I agree.
Is that fair?
Yes, that's totally fair.
Okay. Here's the thing. Man, because let me say it like this. Every wife in a similar situation-ish, if you're really honest with yourself, you feel like the chips are on the table and he chose mom, not you.
Mm-hmm.
Or he chose the keeping the peace with mom and dad over, hey, this something doesn't feel right here. And by the way, they're the boss. They can do whatever they want.
Right.
But come on.
Yeah.
It's your grandkid, right? You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure.
So I don't want this to be a small potted plant. Like, I'm just thinking of like a clay pot with soil in it that you hold in your chest. That's a secret.
Mm-hmm.
Where a seed just got planted of, yes, I trust him that he'll fight for me. Yes, I trust he'll take a bullet for me. But man, he didn't even call his mom.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep, you're right.
And so it's now going to be on you, and sounds unfair, and people are going to be mean to me in the YouTube comments. I don't care. It's now on you to not... Like in my estimation, again, I'm only getting one side of the story. He might come and be like, bro, you don't understand. Actually, my wife's a terrible worker. My parents have been telling me that, and I don't know what to say. Like, so there's a whole other side, I'm sure. But from where I'm sitting, he messed up by not going and saying, hey, mom and dad, I need some clarity on this. This doesn't look right to me.
Mm-hmm.
And I would say that was a glitch in your relationship. That was something that puts you second place. And he said, before God and family, no, you come first, right?
Yeah.
On the other side, I don't want you to hide this plant the seed and have this grow into some sort of resentment, frustration, because it will, and it'll come out in weird ways. I don't want you to put a glitch in the relationship too. I want you to come across the bow and say, hey, we need to talk. Like this, I'm gonna resign this position. I'm gonna let them go do their thing. I want to have a grandma and grandpa more than I want to have always be looking over my shoulder to see who's getting, like, whatever. I'm gonna opt out.
Mm-hmm.
But man, I gotta be honest with you. I wish you'd called your mom. I wish you called your dad.
Yeah. Yeah, I can definitely talk to him about this and tell him the truth for sure.
Okay. I just know secrets blow up relationships.
Yeah, 100%.
Sorry this happened. This is a bummer, dude.
I know, it is. It stinks too. The job has honestly been one that I've enjoyed. But at the same time, I'm home with my kids a lot, and it makes me happy to be home with my kids. So I'm kind of looking forward to that just being have my full attention for a while.
Can I tell you one last thing? I don't know if this will give you any peace, but hopefully it does. I'm going to sound like I'm talking out of both sides of my mouth and my butt at the same time. Don't take this personally.
No.
I don't think this was a slight against you. I think it was a do whatever you want daughter. And I bet with the pace of the job, the pace of all the babies, the pace of blah, 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 blah. Son quit. He went and got another job. Like, with just everything going on, I'm hoping that there wasn't a plotted effort to, no, let's make her life miserable.
Right.
It was more like, oh, daughter, you do whatever you want. You're our sweet, precious daughter. You can't do anything wrong, right? And I bet your husband would be like, that's always been that way since she was 5 years old. Probably.
Yes. I think he would say that.
And so it's one of those, like, I'm not going to take it personal. I'm not going to give you all that. I'm taking you out of the box. I'd rather y'all be just fun, silly grandparents and whatever. I want to preserve that, and a part-time job isn't worth it. And me wondering why I'm getting treated differently. I'm just going to step out. I'm going to step out. And husband, next time, you pick me over mom. You pick me. Thanks for the call, Nicole. You're awesome. Appreciate you. And even if you're mad, give your husband a hug. My buddies who are police officers need more hugs. We'll be right back. Let's talk about Delete Me, my go-to provider for online safety, security, and peace of mind. Don't skip past this. Listen. We all know that we live on the internets these days. I wish this wasn't the case, but it doesn't matter if I wish this wasn't the case. Everything in my life and in your life takes place over the internet. Our work, our personal messages and communications. We buy most of our things on the internets now. It's where so much of our lives exist. And because so much of our lives exist on the internet now, it's become normal to just give away our email address to random companies who then turn around and sell those email addresses to other companies. This is why I'm happy to use and recommend Delete Me. I looked at the reports my friends at Delete Me have sent me. They've reviewed over 35,000 different data brokers with my personal information, and they've removed my personal info from hundreds of scammy data broker sites. Delete Me has saved me countless hours, days even, and they send me detailed reports throughout the year showing me exactly what they've removed and from where. I want you to have this kind of peace too. So we can't really avoid living on the internets, but we can make our personal data personal again with Delete Me. Get protected with Delete Me today and get 20% off all of the Delete Me plans. That comes out to less than $9 a month. Go to joindeleteme.com/Delony right now. That's join, Join, deleteme.com/Delony. All right, we're back. Let's go to Pueblo, Colorado. Man, I got some crazy adventures in Pueblo. And talk to Lee. What's up, Lee?
Hi, good morning. How are you?
I'm doing great. What's going on?
Awesome. So if it is all right with you, I will go ahead and just read my question that I submitted, since I don't think I could put it any more clearly than that.
Go for it. I haven't read it, so I haven't seen it, so let it rip.
Perfect. Awesome. Okay. So here's what I wrote. I need advice as to how I can best support my husband while he works on becoming a healthier version of himself, mentally, spiritually, and physically. He has been in therapy for over a year to work through his past trauma and is trying to figure out who he is after 40 years. Also, he is finally taking care of his physical health by going to the doctors. I am so very proud of him in all of the positive ways he has grown as a man, husband, and father. My primary concern is for his physical health. It weighs heavily on me as the days go by. His father passed away at 57, his grandfather at 63, and an uncle at 39, all from sudden heart attacks. My husband is almost 42 and is currently dealing with maladies that, if left unattended to, will cause stress and illness to his heart. My husband is my best friend, and I love him more with each passing day. I want to see him become his best self in every way possible. I do not want to treat him as my child who needs minding or as an anxious worrier causing him undue stress when he's already working so hard as well as dealing with his own health concerns. I want to treat him as a loving and supportive wife who adores him immensely and is a positive encouragement to him.
You're awesome, Lee.
Thank you.
Thanks for loving him.
Oh, man, he loves me. He deserves it.
Well, even if he doesn't deserve it, just thank you for being somebody. Like when I decided to make a lot of changes in my life, having a wife that I knew was ride or die with me, it made all the difference.
Yeah. Well, he's been that for me, so I just want to give him everything that he's given to me.
All right, so I'm going to give you some hard things and some tools. Is that cool?
Please,
Okay.
and thank you.
Hard thing number one. You can't want this more than he does.
True.
All you can commit to is I'll tell you the truth and I'll love you.
I can do that.
I think I've talked about this on the show. This is a horrific, terrible, awful analogy, but it's the only one in my head right this second, okay?
Okay.
I wish I had a better one. I'm going to commit to finding a better one, but this is the one that just pops into my head.
It's all good.
My dad was a hostage negotiator for the SWAT team, okay, at a major metropolitan city. And so what that meant was if somebody had a bomb or if somebody had hostages or if somebody was going to jump off of something, they called my dad. My dad had a big old mustache and he would come in. He was usually the plainclothes guy.
Okay.
Like the, hey, how's it going? Right? So there'd be a policeman in a uniform, like kind of talking the serious, but my dad was the hey, like basically pulling up a seat kind of guy. How we doing? And he told me something real important one time, and it's still something that I keep in mind when I do my job every day, whether I'm helping people in flesh and blood in real life or I am doing what I'm doing right now, talking to you on the phone, and it's recorded and it's put on the internet. He said he would always, when he would get off the elevator, he'd go all the way up and somebody's about to jump, or they're saying I'm going to jump, or he's on an overpass and somebody's going to jump. He would always find a place where he could quietly pray. Give me the words to say the right thing.
Yeah.
And then he would go through a quick exercise. Watch or listen. And the watch or listen was, and this is harrowing to think through, but this is the reality of hostage negotiators and people that work with hurting people. This may not end well. I may do everything right and this person jumps.
Mhm.
I may do everything right and this person falls.
Yeah.
Am I going to watch or am I going to listen? And it basically, that was a quick,
Mhm.
I'm going to do everything that I can, but I can't hold the outcome. This other person does. And so I want you to be in that same position. Otherwise, you're going to find yourself micromanaging and becoming that angry mother that you don't want to be.
Exactly.
So I'm going to get up every day and say, I love you. Dear God, give me the words to say. We're going to agree on some accountability together. And so that you know your boundaries and your role.
Okay.
And then you are going to do everything you can so that you are healthy, so that he has somebody to anchor into.
That is good advice.
You get what I'm saying?
I do.
Okay.
I do.
Awesome. Have you told him, I'm scared of losing you at a young age?
Yes, several times.
Okay. Does he hear that?
Yes and no. He does hear it, and he comforts me, and but he also says, I'm not going anywhere anytime soon. So I think there's also a disconnect with him where...
Yeah, that's what all men say.
Yes,
This men are invincible until they're...
Yes, because he has expressed to me on his own at other times that he is worried that he doesn't have long just because of the genetics in his family.
Yes, well, and here's the thing. They're not deterministic, but they are correlative, right?
Oh, absolutely.
And so, yeah, he should be concerned. He's got a roadmap of what happens next.
Yes.
And so he just has a daily choice to wake up and ask himself, do I want to go down that road? Because I know how this ends.
Mm-hmm.
And by the way, I know how this ends pain-wise for wife, kids, family, extended, whoever. Yeah. Or I'm going to have to do something radically different, which means I'm going to have to choose minute by minute, hour by hour, day by day to be uncomfortable. Because I've got absolutely no roadmap for what comes next.
Mm-hmm.
My mom didn't do it. My dad didn't do it. My brothers didn't do it. I'm going to be on my own with this amazing woman by my side with a machete, hacking my way through the jungle, creating a new path.
I like it. I think that sounds fantastic.
But I mean, you get what I'm saying. Like, so, and the reason I tell you that is I want you to be compassionate for him, because for you, it's just like, dude, diet and exercise. It's not that hard. And for him, it's like every comfort, every comforting strategy, every numbing strategy, plus you're sitting on this time bomb that is your genetics, like all of this stuff, I'm going to swim upstream.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's not, and again, it's not just getting out of bed like it is for me or like it is for you.
Yeah.
This is a wholesale sea change of living for him.
Absolutely.
So cool, I'm going to be compassionate. And he has to decide, I'm worth being around.
Yes.
And for a 45-year-old unhealthy guy to go to the doctor, that tells me he at least is thinking about it.
He is. He's finally at a point in his life where he realizes it's time to take action, and he wants to. And that's a huge first step, honestly.
Amazing. All right. So I want you to do a couple of things.
Okay.
Okay. I want you to take him out to a healthy breakfast.
Okay.
But I want you to take a piece of paper and I think this is instructive to have no screens. So he feels you plugged in, like you in a yellow pad. Swing by Walgreens or Walmart and buy a yellow pad and a pen.
Okay.
But I want you to look at him and say, I want you to give me a roadmap on how I can love you moving forward.
All right.
And I want you to let him, like, do you want me to tell you? So here's an example in my life. I've given my wife permission to say, hey, are you really hungry? When she sees me grabbing a thing of cookies and ice cream out of the thing.
Okay.
I'm not offended. My heart's, in fact, I feel loved.
Yes.
Right? Now, if she came in and was like, oh my gosh, let me see your calorie counter, I'm going to eat more out of spite.
Yeah, that doesn't work.
Because I'm an immature child sometimes. When she just gently puts her hand, and she'll do it just in passing now. Now it's just become part of it. She's like, are you going to sleep good? And they're not passive aggressive. They're things we've talked about, right?
Yes.
They're like, are you really hungry? And I'll go, No, I'll start laughing and I'll just put it all back. Or occasionally I'll say, no, I'm deciding to make a bad choice. And she'll laugh and be like, cool. But here's the thing. I do that so rarely now that it is funny. It's silly.
Okay.
Like, oh, you're going to choose to be miserable for the next 2 days? Grown man? All right. And she knows it's not a personal attack. It's not and I'm not going to, it's not going to become a lifestyle for me and whatever. So that's just the way our house works. Or the other morning she goes, hey, would you do me a quick favor? And I was like, yeah. And she said, will you call? And she named my counselor, my therapist. And I started laughing because it's not a quick thing. It's a big thing. But that's her saying, I'm watching a series of behaviors. I'm watching some old patterns emerge. And we've talked about it. And I love you. And so, but that came from us sitting down and talking about it and me getting to say, hey, here's how you can best love me. And you can say, I'm not content to sit here and watch you die.
Okay. I can do that. Absolutely.
But I want you to speak into how can I love you? Does it help if I ask you about how your day went when it comes to eating right? Does it help? Does it help you and I ask you to go for a walk with me in the morning? Does it help you to ask those serious questions because we're going to leave with a roadmap.
Okay.
Okay. Now here's a couple other things I'm going to give you.
Yes.
Number one, I'm going to give you, give him a subscription to the Trainwell. It's the app that I use, my wife uses, my manager's wife uses. Like, it's a personal trainer and an app in one. It's amazing.
Well, thank you so much.
Okay, it's amazing. But it has the workouts you can do at home whenever I'm traveling, and I'm like, hey, dude, I'm gonna have 4 kettlebells and a band. It's like, gotcha. I'm just gonna have body weight exercises. Gotcha. And it's amazing. The accountability, it's frustrating because they're always there, but they check in. It's great. Okay. So I'm gonna hook you all up for free with that.
Thank you.
And I'm gonna hook you up with the app that I use for eating, for calories. And it's my friend, Dr. Lane Norton's. It's the Carbon app. I think it's the best one out on the market. But you can scan your food and we'll connect you with his team and they'll get you taken care of there. It's the app I use. It's one on my phone. It's amazing. I just talked to one of my colleagues here the other day that I call him the square root of himself now because he's lost so much weight. And he just said, I just follow the Carbon app. I just do what it said. So those are a couple of what I think are the best tools on the market that I'm just going to give you all for free, okay?
That is
Actually,
very kind. Thank
Lane,
you.
Dr. Norton's going to give you his thing for free, but I'll hook you up with the Trainwell app.
Thank you.
Here's the bigger thing. At some point, I want you to ask him, would you mind if I went to counseling with you so that I can learn some tools on how I can best love you?
Okay.
I want you to think of food as a way to numb pain.
Mm-hmm.
I want you, I'm assuming he's unhealthy because of dietary choices. Is that fair?
Yes.
Okay. Is he way overweight?
About 50 pounds, yeah.
Okay. All right. Think of being sedentary. Think of just kind of feeling frozen in his own feet, right? In his own shoes. When it comes to diet choices, when it comes to just dealing with stress, he's got a roadmap ahead of him that his family has given him for generations. And that roadmap will get you killed. There's a short cliff to it. And he wants to do something differently. But when you say, hey, I'm invested in learning how I can love you, and remember, this is you saying, I want to love you.
Mm-hmm.
Can I come with you so that I can learn some things? It's not you going, you need to let me come to counseling so that you can. It's not that.
Yeah, that doesn't work.
You're asking to be invited in.
Okay.
And he might say no, and you don't take it personally because he's healing, but he might say, yeah, it'd be awesome.
I think he would say yes, absolutely.
And it's showing him investment. What you're showing him is, I'm safe. I'm not your mom. I'm your wife. I love you.
Awesome.
Is that fair?
That is very fair.
He's lucky to have you.
I'm lucky to have him.
Will you do one more weird thing for me?
I would love to do one more weird thing.
Get a journal and put it on your bed, and y'all write each other notes every day.
Absolutely.
And he moves it to his pillow. You move it to your pillow.
Okay. I love that idea.
And if he doesn't feel like it's belittling to him or it makes him feel, less than, sometimes just say like, hey, I saw you reach in and grab the cookies and I saw you stop, catch yourself. I want you to know I'm so proud of you. I saw that. I saw you sneak in one extra lap around the track. I saw you sneak in one extra set of, dumbbell curls in the garage. I saw you, and I'm so proud of you. It's awesome. Or you're inspiring me to go work out a little harder myself, right? But it's those little notes of encouragement. Or I saw you struggle today. I want you to know I love you, and nothing can ever change that. I saw you working hard, and I'm imagining you giving our daughter away at her wedding. And I just want you to know I'm so grateful for it, and I know she's going to be grateful for it too. It's those little things where people feel seen and they feel known and they still feel loved. And sometimes it's hard to say that, it's hard to hear that, but man, you can read it over and over and over again. So I think it'd be awesome to try that out. Thank you for loving well, Lee. You're pretty amazing. He's lucky to have you. And you can tell him, call me anytime. I'm happy to walk alongside him in any way. And hang on the line here. We'll get you hooked up with Trainwell and with the Carbon app. We'll be right back. This show is sponsored by BetterHelp. Listen, right now, BetterHelp is offering the biggest discount I've ever seen. 90% off your first week, now through March 31st. Listen, you've heard me say this 1,000 times. You're worth being well. And I believe that therapy can help. So if you've been on the fence, this is your chance to try therapy for a fraction of the cost. 90% off your first week. Let's be honest. We all spend money on things that we hope will make us feel better, like streaming subscriptions, new clothes, gym memberships, organic groceries. Some of y'all are even essential oil people. But when it comes to actually digging in and getting real about our mental and emotional well-being, we hesitate. Please hear me. Your mental and emotional health is just as important as your physical health. And I know actually going to therapy can seem like a huge first step, but it's more accessible than you think. BetterHelp makes therapy more convenient because it's online and you can talk with your therapist when it works for your schedule. Just fill out a short online survey to get matched with a licensed therapist, and you can switch therapists at any time for no extra cost. Your well-being is worth it, and this offer makes it easier than ever to start. Right now, BetterHelp is offering 90% off your first week of therapy now through March 31st, 2025. This is the biggest discount we've ever offered on this show. 90% off your first week. Visit BetterHelp.com/Delony to get started. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/Delony. All right, we're back. Kelly, am I the problem? It's me.
All right, this is from Rachel in New Hampshire. And she writes, I want to start out by saying that your show has changed my husband's and my relationship and the way that we're raising our children. We cannot thank you enough for everything that you have taught us. On to my question.
I agree. Continue.
I am the mother of 2 young girls who are 2 weeks and 2 years old.
Oh, Lord.
Yes. Since my first was born, I have been uncomfortable with the thought of men changing her diapers, aside from my husband, of course. Recently, my father asked why he had never been asked to babysit. When I told him the reason, he told me that I was wrong for feeling this way and sexist, and that I needed to get over it. I told him that it's not just him, that I've never asked my father-in-law or stepfather to babysit for the very same reason, though neither of them have been as offended by not being asked as my dad was. Am I in the wrong for feeling this way, or did my father take my feelings too personally?
Oh, jeez. Man, this one's so layered. I'll start with ask me that last question again, like her last question, that last sentence. I want to make sure I address that one first.
Am I in the wrong for feeling this way, or did my father take my feelings too personally?
So anytime, I tell this to all women and all men, anytime your alarm systems go off when it comes to some sort of sexual impropriety, I always want you to listen to that alarm. And I also want you to not listen to that alarm alone. So if something sets your little GPS pin in your chest sets it off, like the thought of your father-in-law changing your infant daughter's diaper, which in no shape, form, or fashion is out of bounds, is weird, or in any way sexualized, anything other than loving and caretaking. If something in your chest says, whoa, I can't have that happen, let that alarm be heard, and let that be something that you head towards, not away from. And what I say towards, go sit down and talk to somebody close to you. Go talk to a counselor. Go talk to a close friend and say, I feel this super mama bear protection when I think of another man changing my daughter's diaper is that bananas. And let your friend say, yeah, I didn't feel that. Or I get it, and also, right? So when I say avoiding it, just setting up a perimeter, saying no men ever in any shape, form, or fashion, no, I don't know, Sunday school helpers, no, any of this, never. I do think there's just been too many stories. I have a young daughter. I'm overly vigilant. I just am. And so I'm overprotective. When it comes to this idea of a granddad changing his granddaughter's diaper, no, there's nothing wrong with that. I think it's totally 100% appropriate. Aunts and uncles, I think it's appropriate. I think there's nothing familial. What's the right word? There's nothing wrong with that. In fact, I think it's a good thing. On the other side of it, something is setting her off, whether it's something happened to her when she was a kid, whether it's something that just got in her head, that she heard a story, she knows somebody, or her radar on that particular guy or those two particular men is just going off, and it's not good. Here's one other line. So there's all of that. I don't know that any of that matters. And I'm going to be real careful here how I say this. I don't think it matters when you tell a family member, here's what I'm comfortable with. That family member gets to have their feelings hurt, gets to be frustrated. You're their parent. You're the parent. And so I don't ever want you to feel small or little for your boundaries that you have. And if a family member says, I don't give a crap about your boundaries, I think you're wrong, I think this is ridiculous, I think this is stupid, then you have a right to pull that back. It's going to come with consequences, it's going to come with a cost. That's what I want you to check those boundaries with friends, with counselors or whoever. But I guess I would tell her, yeah, it's not weird at all for father-in-law to change a diaper. In fact, most father-in-laws won't, so I think that's pretty amazing. And it's not wrong that you have something in your chest saying this isn't right. And it's also not right for him to belittle you for feeling that. Does that make sense? It's all of it, all in one big pot. Okay, so that's a lot there. What do you think? Tell me if I'm wrong on any of that.
No, I think I agree with all that. I can also understand from his perspective, that would be hard to hear.
That'd be devastating.
That your daughter, because in this case it was her father, thinks that you would do something. So right. How he handled it, no, I don't think was correct, telling her she's wrong. And
I would be devastated.
But that would be a horrible thing to hear, that you think that I could ever, someone who probably changed her diapers,
or maybe never did and was like, I'm gonna do it right this time. I didn't participate.
The fact that he wants to babysit his grandchildren.
Yes.
I can see where that would be heartbreaking.
Yes, I get devastating. And I would say, not anxiety in the clinical sense, but this angst that she feels, I want her to go talk to somebody, because this will trickle out into other areas of this kid's life, this kid's lived experience, where grandparents feel at arm's length, and dad may be okay now, but there's, it's going to be weirder and weirder and weirder and weirder. So, I want her to go talk to somebody about that. And I think that's worth digging into. But I guess I tell everybody, man, your feelings are your feelings. And when the dashboard light comes on your car, you don't just immediately spray paint over it as though it doesn't count. When it comes up, you at least got to check in and see, is this right? My check oil light's on now. I buy my oil from my friend Michael, who's an exec at Schaefer Oil, the best oil on the planet. Free plug there, and they don't pay. But it's amazing, and I don't have to get it changed every 3,000 miles because it's amazing stuff. My car, the light comes on, and I go, oh, do I need to check? I check the mileage just to make sure, and then I go, oh, no, I'm good, right? And so I go along, I check it, but I move on. Same with your feelings, man. If you get a bad sense, I'm going to listen to it, but dude, it's not inappropriate for dads and grandparents to be involved. In fact, I think it's pretty amazing. So there you go. Cool, great, grand. This is usually when the music comes up and I'm trying to figure out how to end the show.
I think we just say, good job.
I don't know. I quit. Just kidding, I don't
No,
quit.
you don't. You can't. Sorry.
What else am I going to go do? ChatGPT took my professor job. I mean, I'm kind of stuck here, so let's do this, YouTubes. Love you guys. Bye.